This is On the Porch, RVA, where every episode aims to offer a peek into group dynamics. Our philosophies come from our stories, and our stories diverge and intersect. We agree and we disagree, just observers discussing perspectives on current events and life in the RVA.
Welcome to another installment of On the Porch RVA. I think this was an interesting conversation. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. There were some dollars collected for the swear jar, and we are accumulating them and will at some point be passing them on to a charity. Perhaps we'll have a drawing for that. Who knows? But welcome, relax, and thanks for coming to On the Porch RVA.
Hi everybody, we are back on the porch RVA. Y'all listen up, we might have interesting things to talk about today, or we might just shoot the breeze, who knows. We're going to start with some brief introductions, and beginning with you again, Matthew, just like we did last time.
Oh,
what
gosh.
The difference is this time we need to say something different than what we said the last time. So if you really want to know us, you have to watch every episode. Ta-da!
Well, my name's Matthew. Still Matthew. I like long walks in the park.
Still Matthew.
Hi, I'm LeAnne. I guess still LeAnne. I am a mommy to this little one. Nova, she's a Shih Tzu, and she's probably like confused as to why she's surrounding herself with a bunch of wires and mics. But she's today's mascot.
And this is Evie.
Hi, I'm Evie. I'm still me.
Still Evie.
Lots to talk about today, though.
Well, it hasn't. I haven't gotten as much information from this crew as I thought I would. I will volunteer that I not only work. I'm actually a state worker. I'm originally from Texas, and that's enough for today. Let's jump into our current event. Evie has a story to tell us about something that happened with her that we want to talk about.
Uh-oh.
And it's a very RVA thing.
Well, yeah. So, what happened was, a couple of weeks ago, my fiance, he has a 71 Oldsmobile Cutlass that got stolen. And he filed a police report. You would think that on the first time he filed it, it would have been put into the system. So he called back an hour later, but it wasn't in the system. So they told him to call back again. So he calls back an hour later, thinking that the police report had been filed, which, unbeknownst to him, it was never filed the first time. So he called back again. So the third time was the actual charge. It was filed. So when he went down there to file it, the door was locked. So he's trying to get into the door to go and file the report, but the lady was not letting him in. So it seemed like she had to buzz him in. So when he gets into the door to file the report, he's told, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You need to go home and call it in over the phone." I'm thinking to myself as he's telling me this, were you actually in the police department when you did this? And he's like, yeah. So, okay. Switch over to the fact that why were you even having to go home to call it in? I thought you would normally go down to the police department. Anyway, fast track. We get a phone call Wednesday. I'm at work. I work from home. I have to put my phone on mute because I'm answering calls. So I never saw the messages, never heard the call. So I look at my phone later on that night. They found the car. The state police found it. So they have it at a tow yard. So I get the information. Well, I talked to someone by the name of Dee Dee. She doesn't want to give me any information because my name's not on the title. That's fine. I get that. So I give him the information. He goes down there to the tow yard, and they're telling him, well, all you need is just the police report. So I told him, I said, well, fine. Do you have the case number for that? He's like, yeah. I said, you might want to call down there to make sure that's all you're going to need. So he calls the police department, and the police officer James, I think it was, told him, you need the police report number. I said, so he said, well, can you provide me with the police report number? He said, sure. And I said, wait a minute. Does he need to come down there to get a copy of the police report? He said, yes. So Ray said, but you just told me I need the number. He said, no, it's how you ask for it. And I said, how do you ask for it? He said, no, it's how you worded it. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm sorry. Now we're on Schoolhouse Rock. Conjunction junction. What was your function? So you needed to say to the police officer, Officer James, I need a copy of the police report to provide to Postal Towing so that I may pick up my car. This is exactly how I felt inside of my head. But instead, my head was exploding.
I'm glad you didn't explode.
Me too.
So when you had this interaction, this wonderful customer service experience, did you feel as if your tax money was spent at all on the necessity for the police department to anticipate the need of the citizen? You think they spent any time on that at all? Or think maybe it was just serving the bureaucracy?
I feel like they wanted to pass it off on someone else.
Let me see. Here's my hand. And here's the other hand. I can think of what I could put in this hand. I ain't going to say what I have in this hand.
It'll cost you $1.
It'll cost me $1.
I think
So
You ain't going to get far with that dollar.
You are eventually going to get your car back, right?
Yeah, it'll get
Okay.
back, yeah.
Okay.
But to me, our tax money, it ain't going that far.
How much extra time do you think your car spent in the
Oh, Lord. The car has been there.
Like a daily thing, right?
Yeah, the car has been there since Wednesday. Now, the other thing was, which really got me, was for him to go and check on the car, you're going to charge him $85
To see his own car.
to see his own damn car. Yeah.
Just to make sure
To
it's his
visit.
car.
Yeah, $85
To
to
visit.
see his own damn
To
car.
visit. He can't even leave.
Oh my y'all, I gotta throw $1 in here.
Uh-oh.
Do a damn word. Wait, that's $2.
That's $2.
Yeah, there you go. All
And
right.
then
But this is just ridiculous. All right, I just put an extra $1 out there. So anyway,
She prepaid early.
I already prepaid early. But anyway, the whole point of it is, are we that desperate for customers and the consumers' money that we just got to come up with these blatantly crazy ways to get more money out of our taxpayers? I mean, this is ridiculous. $85 for you to just look at your car or come in to make sure that everything's good with your car. And then, are you all open 7 days a week or no? Oh, I'm sorry. $85 for you to come in to look at your car. And then when he asked the question, so I'm not able to come in and get my car. I need to replace the starter. So you're being told that, well, if you got to replace the starter, you would have to be able to take your car out. So, right, if you move your car, you got to move it so that they can't see it outside of the gate. If you can't start the car, well, you're going to have to push it all the way off the property?
Yeah.
Girl, bye. I'm just like, what is
That's one another tow customer.
Oh, Lord, I'm just like, done.
So you would then get the tow truck to carry your car around the corner.
Right.
Literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally.
Maybe what, 20 feet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think that we could probably sum this situation up pretty easily. That was passive-aggressive customer service on the part of the gentleman. It was maybe a technical deficiency that he couldn't get into the police department, but then a procedural inefficiency that he was told that he had to go home and call after he had physically been there.
Right.
In the interest of being helpful to the city of Richmond, is there any other suggestion we can make to them before we move on to our next subject?
I think we just move on to the next subject.
Because usually broke.
Okay. So, let's spend just a couple of minutes on our predetermined subject.
Hey.
Okay. So the predetermined subject was weed. And as everybody knows, there are fewer laws now regulating the sale and use, distribution, etc., and so forth with weed, also known as marijuana, also known as, well, a lot of stuff. But the question is, now that there are fewer laws, do we really need to establish some social mores, some common sense courtesies? When it comes to society, we got our first level of regulation and societal management, which is the family. Then we have the next level, which is the societal contract, which is also actual contracts, like what your employer requires, what your insurance company requires. There are those kinds of guidelines. But just in general, what we used to call common sense and being respectful. It seems to me like we need to have a more general understanding. That's my perspective. We need to have a more general understanding of that goes beyond you do you, boo.
That's not always enough.
Because I was raised with, you do you, boo. You know, that was the original definition of tolerance. But that's not where we are now in a lot of ways.
Some things are hard to tolerate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Should I go into my experience?
Well, either that or you could just go straight into your suggestions.
Well, I guess you need to know my background before you know, I guess, what I would suggest. But, so I'm in healthcare. I have asthma. I had childhood asthma. I was fine up until the point I got COVID in 2021, and it's re-triggered everything. So, like, if I laugh too hard, I go into an asthmatic fit. So, like, I have to be careful because, albuterol is expensive. But, so I live in a 3rd-story apartment building, and the people underneath me literally smoke so much that, like, it is a wall when I walk into my apartment that it, like, just completely just immediately starts my attack. I have complained for a year to my apartment complex. Supposedly now, as of, like, a month ago, or maybe, like, August, they've given him 2 smoking violations already, and I this past Friday, I had to go to Matthew's house because I couldn't breathe. I'm like, look, either you give me a new unit at this point, no charge, because most of the time when you transfer outside of your lease, it's a $500 fee.
Ouch.
And if you break the lease, it's $1,900.
Wow.
On top of your monthly rent.
That's
so
real
that's over $2,000 that I don't have.
That is real money.
But like the fact that I have to literally tell them, like, I'm on the 3rd floor, I have asthma. These people have been smoking like this for years. It's a smoke-free building.
So that's where the smoking violation comes in.
Yes.
Okay.
So
it's any
they
kind of
advertise. So on their website, they advertise. So they legally have to abide by what they advertise, or it's false advertising.
Mm-hmm.
You know, along with all of this other illegal stuff. But it's like, this is a health issue for me. And so I'm fine. Like, if you own a home, fine, smoke away. I don't care. I probably won't come because I won't be able to breathe. But if it's in an apartment complex, again, it goes to the common courtesy. You know, all the ventilation is shared. So it gets into my dryer, which gets into my clothes, which I go to work smelling like weed. That is not okay in my eyes, nor my employers or my patients. So I don't know. Personally, I feel like if you're going to be in an apartment building, just don't do it. It is not federally recognized. So the leasing office even said, we have the right to say no marijuana or, you know, no weed at all. Like, you can smoke cigarettes. There's a nice gentleman that comes out every single night and smokes his cigarette outside the parking lot, which is fine, which is acceptable. Mm-hmm. But as for weed, like, people just do what they want. And, like, I'm fine with the necessity of, you know, some people need it and, you know, for anxiety issues, and totally understand that. But you also need to be aware of your surroundings and just be polite. And I just feel like the world has lost that concept of common courtesy. I really don't know what can be done because you can't control what goes on inside someone's house.
Well, I think that it does come back to the contract. That
the literal and the metaphorical.
Well, the situation, too, is, like, it's not even the people that are living there that are on the lease. It's the company they work for. Mm-hmm. So it's like they have to get in touch with that company in order to kick these guys out because now this is their 3rd violation. And the 2nd violation they had, like, I think it was some kind of
So it's like
understanding that, like, if they don't stop, they get something again, they're being evicted.
Yeah. So it's the layers of transactions.
Like, there should not be that many layers.
Yeah. There is a rental agreement, correct?
Yeah, there's a rental agreement.
And I presume that this is a violation of said agreement.
Yeah, but the agreement is made with the company that they're working for.
Great. So something needs to happen to that company. Like, I don't see why that's impossible.
Now, when it comes to it being a liability and an employer, that's kind of the same coming down to public safety. Mm-hmm. Because the employer is going to be concerned. Like if somebody's working in the warehouse and they're driving a forklift, that is a public safety, not public, but all of the other employees.
Wow.
And then OSHA, and then
it's just, I mean,
liability.
The woman underneath,
there's different layers.
The woman underneath them too, like, she's getting over cancer treatment. Like, and she, like, they didn't even start really listening to me until she complained.
She ganged up on it. There you go.
Well, no, the thing is, it's like the fact that I wasn't listened to after like 6 months to 8 months, and now they decide to do something, and it's now at a point where it's been a year. Like, I mean, I can't, like, I feel bad leaving Nova at home because it affects dogs too. They breathe the same air we breathe. Like, and she's a whopping 8 pounds.
And when you're talking about air, I mean, it literally smells like all these people are
you can
in her
smell it
smoking.
from the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you go to the 2nd floor of this building, I mean, it's straight up.
That's great.
All you smell. Like, I mean, and the fact that, like, you're taking people for tours, too, and it's like, so they only take them to the 1st floor.
New renters, yeah. Because I think that it really goes back to different situations, having different people who are responsible. But what we really hope is that people would consider being responsible themselves. And I know you've got something to say, too.
Oh, I sure do, because last Saturday night, I'm sitting on my porch. And I call the contact. Why? Because when the restaurant closes down at 11 o'clock and they're out by 11:45, that's when the crowd is coming out of the clubs and they're sitting underneath my porch smoking weed and I'm catching a contact. So when I'm blinking my eyes and I wake up, I think it's maybe 1 o'clock. No, honey, it's 5 a.m. I done got a contact. And I don't smoke weed. No, I don't.
Not on purpose.
No, I don't.
Not on purpose.
That's terrible, y'all. That's terrible.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
So I
No
feel
need
for you.
human beings to smoke that much.
And it smells terrible.
Edibles are great, just FYI.
Okay, thank you.
And there's,
Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, but we're gonna do something I did not forget this time. I forgot it last time. We put the different things that we were willing to talk about in the bag. We draw from the bag for next time we get
on
together.
the porch.
Next time we get together on the porch, we're going to talk about. We got a lot of stuff in here.
We're apparently going to talk about everything.
Here. Okay. Now, who knows what we're going to talk about on our 500th show? Because we got a lot in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next conversation is going to be about new slang. Is it innovative or is it lazy? All right. This is going to be fun. Thank you so much for joining us here on the porch. We enjoy getting together. We hope that you enjoy getting together with us. And we'll see you next time.
On the
If not on this porch, it will be on a porch.
A porch.
Thank you. Y'all have a great time out there. Nova says bye. Nova says bye. Bye, Nova. Thank you for joining us, Nova.
No marijuana allowed.
Hey, Tracy here, and I just want to take a minute to add a couple of thoughts. It wasn't our intention to talk about the police department in both of the first two episodes. I called it a crazy coincidence. I think the panel would agree the RPD's efficiency and effectiveness as a whole are dependent on the leadership, no matter how much integrity and enthusiasm a cop on the beat has personally. I witnessed in the 1990s how Richmond was for a time called the murder capital of the country per capita, and this was due to drug wars. We came out of it with credit going to good leadership, massive community involvement, and Project Exile. Project Exile, look it up. As to where we are now, when you consider the current mayor, be aware of his publicly stated goal to go from being Mayor Stoney to Governor Stoney. Moving on, I want to reassure you that we are striving to have a randomness in this program that matches life. Each of us on the panel has people we want to interview. There are stories we want to share with you. A real estate agent talking about local trends, a local filmmaker who is also a wife and mother, someone who created a network of puppy foster families, a missionary home on her break from ministering to women in a culture that doesn't encourage girls outside of very specific roles. There are amazing happenings and amazing people in the RVA. Our passion is the act of conversation itself, the joy of good communication. We want to encourage you to have conversations, face to face, serious or silly. Basically, any spot where two people can pause and pass the time, that spot serves as a porch. And it doesn't take much to smile and say hello. So get out a little while the weather is still relatively cooperative. And we'll see you next time on the porch, RVA.
On the Porch RVA is produced by John Hundley, and your host is Tracy Hundley. It's featuring Matthew Sporn, LeAnne Whitlow, and Yvonne Wilkerson. Join our community on Facebook and Instagram. Video of these episodes is on YouTube and Rumble. Email us at tomatlh@outlook.com. On the Porch is a 2023 Toma Studios production.